Spiel 2014. Sitting down with Frank Gran of Spiel Games.
Hi.
And Jeff Gagne of Philosophia, but also for Z-Man Games.
Absolutely.
And you guys have brought us Fields of Arle.
Yes.
I gotta say, lots of bits, big meaty box. So for those of you who like stuff, this game has it bursting at the seams.
Yeah, that's true. It's really a seam. It's really dripping with seams. This game is a very personal game for us, for Feuerland, and especially for Uwe, the designer of the game, because this is a very small village in a part near the North Sea, where his family grew up, and this is where this game is taking place. 200 years ago, where his father and the family of his father were always settled and well. And so he created a little bit of this history of this village normally in a very poor region, but in this specific village, they were lucky to have a good soil for growing flax to make linen. So this little village came to a notable wealth. And to show you the history of this region where Uwe comes from, he created the game, and to let you know how much he cared about this game, he also wrote a 30-page booklet of the history of this region. This is included, but only in the German version, because we thought this is a really small part of Germany, and not all people around the world are interested in the specific history of a very, very tiny spot on the land map.
But I was thinking, how meta is that? A game designer makes a game about the history of his history, essentially, in a lot of ways.
Yes, it's very cool, very cool. And he spent many of hours in libraries and talking to people, talking to his ancestors. So it's a great game.
So what are trying to accomplish when we sit down to play a game of?
Well, one thing that was not mentioned is that even though it is a huge game, this is actually a two-player game. And this, what we can see here, is that those are the two boards that each player will have, and that's the middle board where the actions. And the objective is that we are playing through 4 years and a half. So the game is divided in, half years, semesters, if you will, summer and winter. So winter is coming in that game. And
it's coming 4 times.
It comes 4 times. And your objective is, as in many Uwe games, to score as many points as possible by building your land, which starts as fairly small, and you have moors, which you need to dehydrate, and then you can cut the peat, which will remove it, and as can be seen here, that's worth negative points. So not necessarily something you want to keep on the board. And you're also going to dig dikes that are going to allow you to increase your land, allowing you to add fields and buildings, which can be found here on the board where the various actions are.
Yes.
And now cows.
And animals, yes.
That's an important part of this region. They always fought against the sea, because it was very close to the sea and the land was flat as a pancake, no elevation whatever. So the people there had to fight the sea. They had to build the dikes to actually gain some more land and to dry out the moor, the peat bog. So there was a struggle for centuries. And
So walk us through maybe what a turn might look like.
So each round, as I said, is a half year, and then we have the players here, and players are going to alternate, choosing actions from the current semester. So during summer, the actions that are here are those available, while those in winter are unavailable. So let's say a player does the action here. Some actions have a cost, meaning that you need to pay some resources in order to do them. Others don't. So red plays and then yellow would play. One thing to note is that a single pawn may be placed on one of the winter actions during the summer semester and vice versa. However, when a player does that, he concedes the first player role to the other player for the next round, whereas normally it will just alternate.
So if there's something you're really dying to have from the flip half of the year, you're going to give up your first choice for the next.
Exactly. And of course, once you've done all of your actions in the semester, it would not be a Uwe game if you didn't have to pay something.
Yeah, you always have to pay something.
And that cost is different. During winter, at the end of the summer semester, you get to milk your sheep and your cows, and you also get to harvest your fields and forests. So we'll just right here. So this is the summer, the November inventorying. Hopefully I said that correctly. And then that's what you have to pay. We have to pay some food, of course, and some wood because we don't want to,
feet to be exactly.
Yeah, it'll get too cold. And another interesting mechanic in the game is that we've got these wagons of various sizes that are used throughout the game to turn basic material like wood into wooden planks to build buildings, and we have clay that can be turned into bricks. But more interestingly are the clothes, or the fabric first, that then becomes clothing.
It's quite a fabulous shirt, I have to say.
And you get those at the end of each semester. Another thing that the carts allow you to do are to travel around Germany, correct?
Not Germany, a little part of North Germany.
So a little part. And when you ship some of the various goods, that's one of the very effective way to gain food.
Yes. Exactly.
And visiting the towns increases your experience in the world as you're traveling. And when you're done at the end of the semester, you place them here in order to score as many points as possible. And then, of course, at the end of winter, I guess the animals had nothing better to do, so they reproduce, allow you to get some more animals. And there's some more food to pay. And we move from one round to the next. Hopefully I didn't forget anything.
Well, it wouldn't be a Uwe game if there are not some buildings involved. Besides cultivating your land, fighting back the seas, you can of course build some buildings. Some of them will be always in the game, in each game. Some of them will alternate, so that there is a little variety. It's not completely new each game, but there is some variety. And you have to see what strategy works best for you.
So why don't you give us an example of like one building that you might want to buy?
Yes, for example, the cooperage, it will reward you if you have many cows and many sheep. So if you play for this building, obviously you want to have as much as cows and as much sheep on your board as possible, because the more you have, the more reward will you get. And so there are different buildings that will reward you in a different way.
Now, assuming since this is a two-player only game, how long would a typical game take?
2 hours, I would say. It's fair to say 2 hours. One game, 2 hours. Yeah.
Now, have you found that this has been received well so far at the fair from your demos you've had at your booth?
So
yes.
And of course F2Z, which is Philosophia in Z-Man. So we've been selling well. It's been selling really well, but the reaction has been very positive. Even though it is a massive two-player game, people take the time to sit down and complete their whole game. So to us, that speaks a lot about their enjoyment of the game, because of course there are so many things to see at the fair.
And just a final thing before we wrap up, just because you guys are collaborating on this, if you could just sort of lay out who's doing what versions in what language.
I'll let you start, because the German version is the first.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a Feuerland game, and we are doing the German version,
Which
of course.
has the booklet in it
Which
as well.
has a booklet as well, and F2Z is our English and French partner.
Yes, exactly. So F2Z has the Philosophia, which is the French brand and the French label, and Z-Man, which is the English label. Our first collaboration was Terra Mystica, which was actually a bilingual box, but for Glass Road or La Route du Vert in French. Those were separate boxes. And of course, that is also introduced at this fair is the Terra Mystica expansion, which has been going like hotcakes.
Well, I'm going to grab the box just so everyone can get one last view. So that was Fields of Arle.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.